She snatched the package right out of my mailbox and said, HOA rules. You're not allowed to receive unsupervised deliveries. Her voice was sharp like she was the sheriff of the whole street, even though we didn't even have an HOA. I stepped toward her, trying to stay calm, but inside my chest something twisted. That was the third package this week. My tools were missing, my replacement car keys, even a sweater my sister mailed from overseas. And every time I asked her, she gave the same cold smile, like she enjoyed watching me lose it. That morning she didn't bother to hide it. She held the box against her hip and took pictures of my porch like she was building a case against me. You people don't follow rules, she said softly, almost like she wanted me to hear it but also wanted to pretend she didn't say it. I clenched my jaw. I moved here for quiet, for space. After serving 12 years in the Army, I thought a small town with open yards and simple neighbors would give me peace. But Karen acted like she ran the whole block. She issued fake warnings, measured people's lawns, and once tried to fine my neighbor for having the wrong color car. But stealing my packages? That hit different. I told her, that's federal property. Put it back. She raised her eyebrows like I was a child who didn't understand the world. If you have a problem, she said, write to the HOA president. Oh, wait, that's me. Then she turned around, walked toward her house, and shut the door in my face. The sound echoed down the empty street. I stood there for a long moment, breathing slow, reminding myself not to react. Because reacting was exactly what she wanted. But while she thought she was in control, she didn't know one thing, something I never shared with the neighbors. I wasn't just some peaceful guy trying to settle down. I had a hidden skill that nobody around here knew about, not even the mailman. And when she stole the package containing my beekeeping gear, the same gear I used during my time assisting military environmental units overseas, something clicked in my mind. I looked at her house, then at the box she carried inside. A slow smile formed on my face. If she wanted to keep taking what wasn't hers, then fine. I'd let my old friends handle it. And trust me, bees don't like thieves. That night I set up my old equipment in the shed, soft brush, smoker, small wooden hive box. I hadn't used any of it in years, but my hands moved like they remembered every step. The only sound around me was the soft hum of wings, drifting through the air as the bees settled into the hive I'd rescued from a friend's farm. Karen must have seen the light coming from my yard because her blinds twitched twice. She always watched, always waiting for something she could spin into another fake HOA violation. But tonight I wanted her to see. The next morning, I placed an empty cardboard box on my porch, the kind she couldn't resist touching. I didn't hide it. I didn't tape it. I just left it sitting there like a welcome sign for trouble. Inside I put nothing except a small cotton pouch soaked in bee pheromone, something only someone with experience would know how to use. Around noon I heard her door open. Her heels clicked sharply against the driveway. I didn't move. I listened. She sighed loudly like I had ruined her day just by existing. Then she muttered, another one. Unbelievable. She picked up the box, and right on cue the bees from my yard drifted upward, following the scent like a magnet. She walked 2 steps, stopped, looked up. A cloud of bees formed above her, not angry, just curious. But Karen didn't know the difference. She froze, gripping the box like it was a bomb. Why are these things? Her voice cracked as she backed toward her porch. Then came the twist I wasn't expecting. She dropped the box, scrambled for her door and shouted, I'm calling animal control. And the police. You can't bring attack bees into an HOA neighborhood. I stepped outside slowly, wiping my hands on my jeans. Karen, I said, you're holding a stolen package again. Her eyes widened. It's HOA protocol, she shrieked, pointing at me with trembling fingers even as bees circled her hair. You're violating 12 different rules. We don't have an HOA, I said calmly. We never have. For a moment, her face went pale. Then she puffed her chest like she owned the whole street. I am the HOA, she snapped. And when the officers get here, you're done. But what she didn't know, what she could never expect, was who those officers would be. Because the local police chief? Yeah, he served under me back in the Army, and he owed me a favor. 15 minutes later, 2 police cars rolled up, lights off, quiet and steady. Karen ran toward them like she had summoned an army. She pointed at me, shaking so hard the bees around her looked calm in comparison. There, she yelled. Arrest him. He's keeping illegal bees, threatening the neighborhood, and she hesitated, then added, he tried to attack me with some kind of bee trap. The first officer stepped out. Chief Daniels. His eyes met mine, and I saw the recognition flicker. 12 years ago, he was the rookie I trained overseas. Today, he was the man Karen believed would drag me away in handcuffs. He didn't even look at her at first. He walked straight to me and said quietly, "Didn't think I'd see you working with bees again." Karen froze. Her mouth slowly opened like she couldn't understand the scene. You know him?" she asked. The chief finally turned toward her. "Ma'am, this man has a legal permit for beekeeping. I know because I helped him renew it." Her face dropped. "And," Daniels continued, stepping closer to her, "we received a different complaint this week. Multiple reports of stolen packages on this street." Now she swallowed hard. He nodded at her porch. "Mind if we check inside?" There's nothing to check," she said, voice cracking. She tried to step back toward her door, but another officer blocked the path, and then came the moment that changed everything. From inside her house, they found all of them, my missing tools, my sweater, my keys, even 3 packages from neighbors she claimed to supervise. When the officer carried the stack out onto the lawn, people began opening their doors, whispering, staring, filming. Karen's face went completely white as the chief looked at her with the kind of disappointment that didn't need volume. "Ma'am," he said, "you're being detained for theft, harassment, and impersonating HOA authority." No, you don't understand," she shouted. "I run this neighborhood. I was protecting it." The chief shook his head. "This is America. You don't get to control people's property just because you feel like it." They guided her toward the patrol car, and for the first time since I moved here, the street felt peaceful. Before leaving, Daniels walked back to me. "You know," he said, "I never thought you'd use bees for justice." I shrugged. "Bees don't lie. They go where the trouble is." He laughed under his breath. If she'd known who she was messing with. "She never cared who," I said. "She just liked the power." As the cars pulled away with Karen inside, the neighbors gathered around, thanking me, shaking their heads, relieved. Even the mailman slowed down and gave me a nod. I looked at my porch, then at the quiet hive beside it. For the first time, this place finally felt like home. And I whispered to myself, I didn't serve this country for someone to steal boxes off my own porch. The bees drifted lazily through the air, calm again, like the street finally understood who it really belonged to. The end.